Thank you very much for making a date on the Friday edition of the Marketplace. Welcome back. Now, government has declared October 5 this year as the official date for all bidders and investors interested in developing oil blocks in Ghana's western offshore basin to make imports. The move, which forms the first round of the bidding process to get an oil exploration right, will require all investors to have at least 5% local equity participation. The bid is expected to be launched on October 4, while sales for data and view begin on the 5th of October. Chairman of the Licensing Round for Bid Evaluation and Negotiation Committee, Lawrence Apalsi, has been explaining about the process.
That is what I said is now going to be worked out. Once we roll out the launching on 4th October, we will roll out publication of expression of interest. In that expression of interest, we will state what a company must have, what the blocks have. Presently, we are compiling them. The geological potential of the basin, what amount of data is available, what amount of work is available, what do we know about the place, the maps, and so on and so forth. And then we will roll out the criteria as time goes.
All these three blocks seems to be in the western region. What about the eastern side also? What are we doing about those blocks?
Okay. We will continue to, as I said, this is a first round. That's 2018-2019 bidding round. As we progress, we will go into other blocks, which will certainly go to the east. But for the start, we want to experiment with 3 blocks.
When are we expected to finish with this process?
Yeah, we are projecting last quarter of 2019. So somewhere November, December, we should be able to award our first block.
Award it to a company, a Ghanaian company?
No, not a Ghanaian company, to an international oil company, with a Ghanaian company having at least 5% equity stake, unless Ghanaians say something else.
Meanwhile, Deputy Minister for Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, has been explaining why it is important to explore more hydrocarbons to replenish our fields that are already under production. The competitive bidding process would be prominent in the auction, even though direct negotiation will be adopted for firms with exclusive technology and financial competence to explore deep water fields.
Well, I think that the government has decided to do the bidding round because we have observed since coming into government that we've been depleting our reserves. And yet, because we are not making new commercial discoveries, we are not replacing what we are depleting. And if you deplete your reserves and you don't replace, there's a time you will not have an oil industry. And so the President Akufo-Addo, is so concerned about this and therefore has tasked us to find ways to revive the industry, okay, to breathe air back into the industry. The last time an exploration well was drilled was in 2014. And so between 2014 and 2018, it means there has been no activity upstream. And that is worrying for a country that wants to grow its oil and gas industry. And this is why, among the measures we are putting in place, we have decided to allocate new blocks. But we want to do it through competitive bidding so that we can target companies that have the wherewithal, that have the resources and the technology. As you know, in the past, contracts were awarded to companies. They are holding the contracts, yet they are not meeting their obligations. And they have a period within which the contracts will terminate. So until such a period, you can do nothing about it. So the best we can do is to offer new blocks to companies that have the money, that have the technology. And so by the end of this year, by October, we should be making the pre-announcement, the formal announcement. And then by July next year, 2019, between October and July, we should have gone through all the process leading to the award of the new blocks. So that is what we are committed.
October period going, we'll do the auctioning, right? Yes. And then from next year,
we'll do the announcement in October. We will invite, companies to submit their bids. We will evaluate the bids. We will select the winner, and we will negotiate with the winner. And so I'm saying that between October and July, normally it takes 15 months to go through this process. But given the situation we find ourselves in, we are using about 8 months to be able to go through the entire process of competition.
Let us stay within the oil and gas space because 150 students within the 6 coastal districts in the Western region have benefited from Aker Energy Ghana National Petroleum Corporation's scholarship scheme. It will enable them pursue courses at the various senior high schools and nursing training institutions across the country. At the presentation of the award scheme, country manager of Aker Energy, Jan Helge Skogen, said the company's ambition is to go beyond the demands of the country's local content regulations to share knowledge and experience towards medium and long-term ambitions of the oil and gas sector in the country. The Aker Energy GNPC scholarship program, which began in 2012, is said to have transformed the lives of 794 students by enrolling them in high school, technical, vocational, as well as health institutions. According to the country manager of Aker Energy, Jan Helge Skogen, the scholarship program ties in directly with the company's long-term ambition of developing local content. General Manager for Sustainability at the GNPC, Dr. Kwame Banyako, said last year the company awarded 1,000 scholarships, out of which 300 hailed from the Western region. He added that the GNPC will build 56 units classroom blocks across the country to support free SHS initiative by government.
At GNPC, our support cuts from the basic level to the tertiary. At the basic level, for those of you who are aware, there are some figures that I don't know whether you know. 500 students, 132 schools, 22 districts, 1 region. I'm referring to GNPC STEM quiz that we started this year. The idea here is to introduce the young boys and girls in this region to STEM education. And we are selecting 100 of those kids to send to the Accra Digital Center to introduce them to software development. We hope to roll that out within the next month or so.
President of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Ojiahoho GB II, commended Aker GNPC for the scholarship award. He was hopeful the program would help build the capacity of many more youth in the area for acquiring vocational and technical skills to be able to get opportunities within the oil and gas sector.
Let me congratulate Aker GNPC for giving 150 scholarships to deserving students but needy in the 6 coastal district. We are very much grateful. My advice to the award winners is that they represent the region, they represent their family, they represent their district, and indeed the companies which have given them the awards. So they should go and learn, perform very well, and then not only that, they should also remember that they are representing the region. They are role models, so they should do whatever they do with integrity, high moral standards, to convince the awarding institutions to increase the number from 150 to a higher number in future.
The Norwegian oil and gas company Aker hopes to start exploring the deep water tunnel basin by 2021. Now, Filipino firm Meralco is expected to officially take over ECG from the middle of January next year. That's according to Chief Executive of the Millennium Development Authority, Martin Ison Benjamin. Earlier this year, Parliament approved the partial privatization of ECG under the Second Millennium Challenge Compact. Speaking to Joy Business at the commemoration of the 2nd anniversary of the Ghana Power Compact, Mr. Ison Benjamin allayed fears there will be job losses after the takeover.
I think that over the 2 years, we've struggled, we've met challenges, we've overcome them, and we've now reached where we are. So that's why we applaud ourselves. We want to move on. ECG must transfer to the new company, and that will come early next year. That is the challenge we have now, so that we can get all on board to be able to overcome the condition that precedent that we have put into place to be able to achieve the results that we're looking for.
So exactly what date are you talking about for the new owners of ECG? Exactly what date next year?
We cannot, in fact, ordinarily from our time schedules, we are talking about middle of January. That is when we expect that we would have done all what is necessary for them to take over from ECG, and then they start running the business. So that is the date we have in mind. He's emphasized the fact that there will be no job losses. And I think we must give a little credibility to our leaders. That is what is written into the agreements. So therefore, personally, I do not know where it's coming from. As far as I'm concerned, working with government, what government has said and put on the table is what I work with. Except somebody comes to tell me that he had something different. But so far, so good. They've indicated that the new concessionaire must work with the people who are there and even enhance their packages if possible.
Let's move away from energy now, and various reasons have been given by experts on what has been the cause of the cedi's free fall in value over the past months. The local currency, according to some of the banks and research firms, has depreciated by more than 7% since the beginning of the year. But how has dollarization of the economy contributed to the current woes of the cedi? There's more in this report.
The cedi's sharp depreciation over the past month can primarily be attributed to development on the outside economy, following a strong dollar and interest rate increase on the U.S. market. Some of these foreign firms that brought these dollars as investments are now pulling them out due to developments in the U.S. Locally, one can also talk about the surge in demand for businesses for dollars. However, some market players have told Joy Business that high local demand has also been fueled by the dollarization of the economy, or instances where prices of goods and services are quoted in dollars. Under the current laws covering foreign exchange dealings, no institution is supposed to price in dollars unless they have the Bank of Ghana's approval. But this is not the situation on the ground, as most institutions are flouting the law. For some of these businesses and even individuals, since the cedi is not stable, it is prudent for them to quickly change the little cedis into dollars. This is done to ensure that when time is due for paying their fees, mortgage or other expenses, they can fall on these dollar accounts for settlement. The dollarization of the economy is believed to be one of the major reasons why there is so much pressure on the local currency. Some market players have told Joy Business right now it may not be prudent for the Bank of Ghana to pump more dollars into the economy to help stabilize the sharp depreciation, because it will be consumed quickly by people who do not actually need it.
Meanwhile, current checks on the markets show that most of commercial banks are quoting 5 Ghana cedis to $1 as the forex rate for all transactions. We're still live on the marketplace. Let's still stay within the financial space. And the Bank of Ghana is seeking input from the public over the final draft of the directive that will guide institutions wanting to shut down on their own. The proposed regulation outlines laid down procedures that the firm should go through before the Bank of Ghana grants its liquidation request. Joy Business in-house analyst and researcher Philip Naufuri has been going through the directive and has joined me in the studio for a discussion. Good afternoon.
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you very much.
Now, so tell us more about this directive.
Okay, so it's essentially a directive put out by the Bank of Ghana, and it's supposed to operationalize Section 139 of the Banks and Specialized Deposit Institutions Act, which talks about voluntary winding down of regulated financial institutions. So maybe a bank, a savings and loans wants to voluntarily close down. Section 139 has now been operationalized through this directive, and as you said in your introduction, it's supposed to get inputs from the public so that it's made better, it's made more robust.
Right. And what exactly do we mean when we say voluntarily winding up?
Okay, so I'll quickly read it for you and I'll explain it. It says suspension or cessation of activities of a bank or specialized deposit institution with the objective of cashing its assets, collecting its receivables, settling claims and other debt obligations, as well as distributing reserves to its shareholders. So essentially, if you're a bank and you're operating and you want to close down, you must make sure that anybody you owe, any depositor, any creditor, you pay them off. If you have any receivables from somebody, maybe somebody owes you money, you have to take it. And then at the end of the process, you give back to your shareholders because they ultimately started the bank or the financial institution.
What are the other conditions that will really require a bank to close down? For instance, if you realize that, you know, by December you would not, or a bank cannot meet the minimum capital requirement, does it automatically give it the right to preempt this action by closing down?
Okay, so funny enough, in the directive, the Bank of Ghana has spelled out certain conditions, and it's not as if you're not performing, you can just go and then voluntarily wind down. 1, you must be solvent. 2, you must be liquid, and by solvent, it means over a period, a long term, you should be able to meet your obligations. Liquid means in the short term, you should meet your obligations. At the same time, too, the director of your institution or the board of directors should ratify this decision that the bank wants to take. So it's not as simple as if you're not performing properly, then you can go in and then close down. If you're not performing properly, we know we've seen this happen already. They'll appoint a receiver or administrator to undersee this thing. But if you are performing properly and you feel for one reason or another you want to close down, you must be solvent and liquid above all before they can grant you this.
And what are the procedures that you have to pass through before you finally wind up?
Okay, so the number of procedures, first and foremost, you have to apply to the Bank of Ghana. They will go through it, take a number of days. I think it's 14 days to see whether your application is worth it. Then they'll process it. You go through a number of procedures. Finally, you'll be liquidated at the end of the process.
All right, thank you very much, Philip Namfuri, for that update. Philip Namfuri bringing us up to speed with the Bank of Ghana's requirement for banks which want to liquidate on their own. Still staying within the financial space, the Ghana Revenue Authority is urging the general public to patronize goods and services from individuals and businesses that are tax compliant and report others that are flouting the law. According to the GRA, such businesses and individuals are cheating the system and must not be supported to perpetrate their wrongdoing. Speaking at a tax education campaign in Cape Coast, Head of Compliance and Enforcement Unit and Debt Management at the Cape Coast Tax Office, James Agri, called on the public to treat the issues of taxes seriously. Richard Kwejonyako reports.
Not paying excise tax. And then obviously
the Ghana Revenue Authority has been embarking on a tax education campaign in the markets, offices and in organized sessions in the central region. They are educating the public on the new tax trends and the tax laws so companies, businesses and individuals who pay the right taxes and advise other businesses to do same. The objective of the campaign is to enhance voluntary tax compliance for nation building. Speaking after the education campaign, Head of Compliance and Enforcement Units and Debt Management of the Cape Coast Tax Office, James Agri, called on consumers to deal with businesses and companies that are complying with the tax laws and report the ones that are flouting them.
For Ghana to move for Ghana beyond aid, we need a revenue. So we don't understand why others will be paying and the others will not be paying. If you are Ghanaians, you are a worker, then every month you pay as you have for your salary. And then a businessman who is supposed to get the excise tax is not doing it. You don't have to encourage the person to do the wrong thing. So what we are telling everybody is that you patronize the one that has the excise. After all, the price on the excise product is just a small margin. But if you put small margins together, get a bigger margin for national development. That is what we need as a country. It's complying with the issue of excise tax stamp and also even filing or the use of the Commissioner General invoice to whenever you make a purchase. You insist that, because if you don't take the Commissioner General invoice, the implication is that the business person has taken that VAT that you have paid as part of his profit, which is a revenue leakage to the state, and you don't have to support that. On the other hand, if you are a consumer and you take a product and you see it, what it is not on it, you have every right to come to GRA office. Then you can even just give us the sample of the product that you bought. You can give your money for it. Then from there, we trace the manufacturer and they will do according to the laws of Ghana.
James Agri says the educational campaigns are yielding dividends because people have shown great interest in filing their tax returns and paying their taxes.
People are really now understanding the payment of taxes. Recently, there's the issue of tax amnesty, which we opened for those who were not registered with GRA and those who have also registered in one way or other were not filing their returns. We educate them, and majority came in and then they filed, and then we see that dedication-wise we are making strides.
The GRA in the region says they are going after companies that have failed to emboss the excise tax stamp on their products. Richard Kwejonyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
And back here in Accra, the 2018 edition of the Back to School Fair is underway at the Providence Event Center adjacent to the International Trade Fair Center. My colleague Charles Aite has been engaging some exhibitors and patrons of the event and has come through with this report.
All is set for the 2018 Back to School Fair, which is underway at the Providence Center of the Ghana International Trade Fair Center here at La in Accra. It's all about getting the best deals for your wards as they prepare for school and even for yourself. If you need the best reading materials that could help prep up your intellectual capacities, we get inside there to interact with both patrons and exhibitors on the expectations and all that we need to know about the mouth-watering deals yet to be uncovered.
The BIC is expecting a higher patronage this time around. We have bakers gifts that we are giving out. We also have our coloring section for every kid that comes in. It's free. You just come in and you just color and take your coloring away. Because we have the best quality stationery in the country. when you come, we have our big evolution pencil. It's very bendable, it won't break. Yeah, it's very durable as well. Even when it falls, the lead won't break. We have our crystal fine and crystal original pencils. You know, we listen to the needs of the consumer, and we have two variants for them. We have the fine, which is more tuned for the cursive handwriting, and the original, which is more suited for those who write in block.
UC Maths is a mental development program that is designed for children within the ages of 4 to 14 years. What it does is it uses numbers and other learning materials to train children in speed, accuracy, memory power, concentration, imagination skills. You would bear with me that all these things that I'm talking about is quite necessary in every aspect of education. Talking about maths, English, science, social studies. The program UC Maths has been in existence in Ghana, that is over 10 years. The economy of our current educational system, you have so many children competing. So if you don't add an additional tie to your child, he can't work within that fast rate. He can't think outside the box. Creativeness, imagination skills, and so many others. And I think you are lacking behind. You see, your child needs this, and it's quite key.
The Sahara Rice Hospitality, but we do we have bouncy castles, we have trampoline, we do parties, and kids should come here for parties. Maybe when the kids are home and they are not happy, they should come to Maximat, and we'll do everything for them.
My name is Sylvester from Kent International School, and we believe that this is a very big platform. So our expectations for today is having a lot of parents coming in to see what we have for them today. So we are expecting a very huge market, since we know that Joy FM is a very huge marketplace.
Walk us through the packages that Kent has, you know, for any reason for which anyone would have to visit this stand.
Okay, Kent International School is currently one of the best international schools when you talk about international schools in the country right now. And what we have to offer is we believe in quality. And we believe that we don't only have to educate children, but you always have to give them values that will help them even outside school. So what we seek to give the children or the parents today is education coupled with values.
My name is Barbara from the Republic Bank. Obviously, we are expecting too much because, as we say, we are giving you too much. So we hope that we just started. So I hope a lot of people will come around, and then we have a very good package for the back to school. So just come to our table. You would love it. Republic Bank, we are the best for you. Thank you.
Thank you. The company is the Kids Haven. My expectation here today is we stand out for three things, and that's playing fun toys, learning aids, and educational toys. We want our brand to come out as the best, that kids could not just have fun but also be able to learn with some of the things that we are doing.
We are expecting people to come and see the kind of books we have. We have workbooks, motivational books, story books, not only for kids but for adults as well too. Yeah. They are very affordable, very, very. You can come and, like, with a little, you can get a whole lot of books.
I think it's a nice event. I just came to buy some books, and then I think it's okay. I like it. Yeah.
It's a nice event. I came here to buy books. It's affordable, and I like it. I may come here next time to buy.
So you've heard from both exhibitors and patrons as to the main reason why you should be at the Providence Center of the International Trade Fair here in Accra, in that regard, for the Back to School Fair, which is underway as we speak. You can see behind me, exhibitors have lined up. You know, patrons are currently here, massive discounts and mouth-watering deals in that regard, and everything that you need about when it comes to books, education, you know, recreation, and everything in between. It's all happening here. Just pass by and you will never forget it. I'm Charles Ayeta reporting for Joy Business.
And the back-to-school event closes on Sunday. Now, before we go, telecoms giant MTN Ghana has rewarded short video makers with 50,000 Ghana cedis. Last month, the company launched MTN Shorts, an initiative to provide an opportunity for short video makers to earn regular incomes for their amusing and educative videos that catch public attention. Speaking to Joy Business at the awards ceremony, which saw Team Lost emerge the overall winner, Senior Manager of the Products and Services Division at the MTN, Bless Sefenu Agojo, said the initiative is part of MTN's corporate social responsibility.
If you are
we spent millions of cedis to create this platform, and it's owned by MTN. But that is not what we are looking out for. We want to build an ecosystem and to grow the indigenous capabilities in storytelling, content creation that are engaging, educating, and also are funny for people to relax and then enjoy, most especially our subscribers and our customers. We are one of our responsibilities is to give back to society, and so as part of that, even though there's monetization aspect of the way the partners are making money from it, it's also our responsibility to help them upscale their skill, thereby creating jobs. From what you've seen, these are young graduates from school or freelancers who are creating content but doesn't have anywhere to put their content or even the means to monetize them. So what it means is that we are creating a lot more jobs for the youth, and then they can be able to make some money out of this by creating a sustainable revenue stream for them.
And this is where we bring to a close the marketplace for today and, of course, for the week. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. It's been good having you keep me company on the show throughout the week. Let's meet again same time next Monday for more business. Have a good afternoon and enjoy the weekend.